Senator, just tell us a little bit about this. This is workers' compensation, and just how important is this to businesses and then just people involved with just different industries in Mississippi?
Well, the legislature passed what is, I think it's safe to say, the most important piece of workers' comp legislation in a generation. It is a bill that will affect any business in the state with 5 or more employees. They are all familiar with our workers' compensation laws. They're familiar with the frustration that has come over the years with our workers' compensation laws. This should make it easier for businesses to operate in the system, to rehabilitate workers who have legitimate claims, and it should make Mississippi a more attractive place to occupy your business.
Was there some opposition to this legislation?
I think there's opposition when you try to take on something that most people outside of the business world are unfamiliar with. This is really a compilation of efforts that have been going on for about 20 years. None of this was new. Representative Formby on the House side and Representative Chisholm on the House side, both chairmen, have brought up workers' comp bills for 2 decades. Same thing has been true with my colleagues in the Senate. We decided to roll a lot of those efforts together at once, go ahead and take on the challenge of explaining it all at once, getting the support for it all at once, because we knew that we'd probably just get one shot at it and it might be another generation before we get a chance to. I think the best thing and most immediate thing you will see is fairness and balance return to the system, and hopefully lowering of workers' comp insurance rates.
Do you have maybe examples of some of what the legislation will help, specific examples, things that you guys discussed?
I do. One thing, they're pro-employer and pro-employee segments of this, although I believe it all will help everybody. One thing we do is return apportionment to the system for non-work-related injuries. That's something that was in the original bill that judges took out, but now we put it back in. So an employer now will only be responsible for that part of the injury that the work caused and not for the rest. We made it clear that lawyers cannot take benefits from workers that they have not earned through representation. That is probably the most pro-worker provision in the whole bill. We make it clear that you have to show up when you file your petition with the workers' comp court. You have to show up with some kind of medical records. Previously, you could get all the way to the end of litigation and all of a sudden records show up. Now you're going to bring it up front just to show a connection between the injury and the workplace. There are benefit increases in this for workers that have not been increased since the act was passed in 1948. There are a number of other provisions that I think make it clear that that this bill will make the workplaces safer. The substance abuse laws in terms of workers' comp have fallen behind the times. Now it's clear that an employer can test for alcohol abuse on the job, for substance abuse, both illegal substances and misuse of prescription substances. This bill will raise a presumption that if you're caught with it in your system, that it caused the injury. But then all a worker has to do then is bring proof to the contrary. So it really brings a fair and impartial approach to workers' comp law, which we'd gotten away from over the years. In the places where this has been done, Arkansas did this 20 years ago. They took out the slant in favor of a presumption toward compensation every time. They put in fair and impartial language. Over the past 20 years, their rates have gone down 75%. Their comp rates have gone down, while benefits have increased 50% over the same period. My hope is that this will attract more business to Mississippi, which will have an upward pressure on wages and on the number of jobs. It's been a long time coming, and I'm grateful we had all the support we did. I'm grateful to the Lieutenant Governor for all his support, and of course to Senator Carmichael, who brought it up in the first place.
So this is a co-sponsor, or?
I had an author. I was the sole author, but Senator Carmichael brought it up in his committee and has been extremely supportive and given me a lot of responsibility in supporting the bill. Chairman Formby on the House side and Chairman Chisholm we're doing the heavy lifting on that side.